Hi everyone and welcome to Through Hells and Back, the premiere episode as we get started this week with the wonderful new DM Bree. Bree, hi.
Hello. I'm so excited to drag a bunch of people from the Scratticus Academy through hell and back. Maybe.
I'm so keen. Before we go around and say hello to everyone and do all of the introductory things, please check out all the opening links. These include all the places you can find us online, all the places you can go and support us and buy merch. There's new merch on the Streamlabs website. It's from the Apotheosis game if you tune into that one on Tuesdays. Also, you can find all of the places you can interact with us, contact us, get games with us, and interact with our community and all that good stuff in those links. We also have sponsor information. Today, the wonderful Vicky is holding up the sponsor logos for us. We've got Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mage Hand Press over there, both of whom we are very grateful to, for they make this whole thing possible. There is also a tweet in that last link. Please retweet the tweet, let your friends know where you're watching, get them to come and watch with us. It really helps us out. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, starting with our Dungeon Master, DM NPC Bree.
Hello, it's NPC Bree. I'm so excited for today. We are in Hells and Back. We are running through all of the layers of hell, and we are starting today with the river Styx. So I'm really excited to have all these wonderful viewers and players and amazing folks all sitting with me, sitting pretty, ready to go into the dark zone.
Fantastic. I've posted your links in the channel. We'll go next around to Vicky. Hello, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
Oh, hello. My name's Vicky. You can find me on Twitter as Pink Eldritch, and you can also find me on the D&D 5e Actual Play podcast, Sacrosanct. And today I am playing a little old cleric. Little old sweet cleric.
Interesting. I'm playing a cleric too.
My hellish clerics.
Yeah. Awesome. Next around the screen, we have... Hang on a minute. Let me look at the screen. We have Overload Anonymous. Bradley!
Boo! Hi. Hello. How's it going? Bradley here. Bradley, doesn't matter, whatever you want to call me. Son of a bitch is fine too. Yeah, no, happy to be here. I'm going to be playing a ASMR warlock by the name of Mikhail. Should be interesting. But yeah, that's it from me. Humble old me's going to be quiet now.
So ready.
Thank you. Next around, we have a returning player, Ryomasa. Oh, hi!
Hello! The heck are we supposed to talk about now again? Us. So hi, I'm Ryomasa, Ryo, whichever way you want to say it. You can currently find me cooped up in my room as I'm gearing up to write a thesis for a paper on drama therapy applications for role-playing games. I'm a grad student in a program doing research on therapeutic applications of role-play. Today I'm playing Pere Denmark. You can say it Pere, but Pere's just fine if that's too hard for you to pronounce. And he is a marked departure from the character I played last time on Riders on the Storm.
Oh yes, because last time you of course played a holy man,
Yep, last time I played a holy gunslinger of God, and this time I'm playing a very much not that.
Very much not that.
I'm so keen. I am so keen. That just leaves me. I'm playing Dan the Lion, who is a centaur cleric, sent to hell for reasons to be discovered. He will soon have a voice and stats. Without much further ado, Bree, how about we hand over to you?
Before we start, I do just want to point out that in typical Scratticus fashion, Scrat is currently making his character for a campaign he's known about since longer than I knew about us doing a campaign together. I do just want to point that out very abundantly clear. Call out post. I love him so much.
Hi.
But while he makes that, there are 4 individuals standing somewhere they do not recognize. The sky feels close enough to touch, but farther than ever before. The air hangs stale, almost hard to breathe in. You all stand beside a solitary tree, white with death, bark and blossoms long gone. Even the earth itself seems to be void of any essence, nothing but gray. As far as the eye can see, this is a desert of unending gray, except to the direct south, where you can hear the lapping of waves in what seems to be a small dock house some 5 miles away. Your companions are unfamiliar. Some look confused, and some very much so know where and why they are. Parail. Parail?
If you can't say it, Perry is fine.
Okay, we'll say Perry because I'm not good at
That's all right. No, it's fine.
the way you said it too, it was like, yep, Perry. Just do Perry, okay?
Perry is fine.
Perry, you know where you are. You know exactly where you are. But you can tell by the faces of your fellow companions that they don't quite understand what is going on. Is there anything you would like to say to them as you all stand?
Hooray sort of turns, looks at the others, and they're standing there, and just kind of goes, "Oh, first time, huh?"
Come on, Scrat, give it to me.
It's coming. Oi! It is my first time here.
You don't say.
I think that's inspired by your name. Thank you, Ria.
It's my first time being here, yes.
Do people generally do this more than once?
Oh, I've been here like 3 or 4 times, give or take. But getting out is a little bit more complicated than ending up in here.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
It's not foreboding in the slightest.
No, not at all. I'm not worried.
Pray, you know that in this area you are just above Avernus, so to speak. Space and time doesn't quite make as much sense in hell, but you are at one of the many waypoints, like small islands around the river Styx, empty spaces of land to pick up departed souls. There is usually a ferryman waiting by docks.
So Prey sort of, listening to everyone talk, sort of takes a step forward, turns around to face all of them and says, "Look, pardon me if I'm being rude, but you're all probably here for a reason, whether or not it's because you did some things you didn't like, or you did some things, or someone else did some things you didn't like, and now you're here, or you're here for other dubious reasons I'm not going to pry. But normally people who don't feel like they belong here have turned around and started trying to find a way out by now, so I take it you're all here for intentionals, as they might say."
Well, I wasn't planning on starting up a vacation home, if that's what you mean.
And Perez stops, sort of looks up to one side and goes, actually, that's not a worst idea. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Might ask about real estate since I seem to travel here so often. Okay, but that aside, that's a problem for me and not you. What's your goal, if I might ask?
I have a person of interest I need to speak with.
Ooh, I love the vagary.
I do not yet know why I'm here.
Wouldn't be the first.
Rhonda's just kind of standing there, this small little half-elf with their hands folded in front of them, and then they say, "So wait, you said you weren't one to pry, and then you asked us what we're doing here."
Well, the point being is that I don't really necessarily need to know the details of why you're here, but if your goal is to continue onwards into hell, as it were, hell's multiple plural, I don't know which layer you plan on going to, but if that's the case, traveling to one of the checkpoints along the way might not be out of our best interest, and I personally prefer a journey with someone else to talk to. I don't need to know the details of your work, but...
Oh, don't know. Just wondering. I'm here to find someone.
Oh. Two people here to find someone as of yet undetermined. Exciting. So, let's say we travel across a river.
The only other option is not, so...
You all do know how this works, right?
If we did not,
I have no idea. Am I dead?
That's complicated. Statistically not unlikely, but also not impossible that you're still alive.
I mean, there was a lot of hesitation there, and then that was not a definite yes or no.
I don't know your situation. You know it better than I do.
Oh, God.
Some might argue that you're dead, and I might find some people who take offense to that particular statement and have in fact turned out to be quite alive and healthy, and in body at least. I question sometimes the health of people who come here for purposefully in terms of them. But I'm not going to judge.
so about this river.
Yes. Got to pay a bit of a toll to get across.
Are we talking coin? Are we talking...
Coin is a pretty good one. Most of fairies here will take coin as a matter of purpose. Things in hell need to spend money too, as it were. They have plenty of things they need. They're a little bit more blurry on whether or not they keep the coin as a matter of principle in terms of whether or not they're going to take the job all the way through. So more coin is often better than less.
I see. You have any recommendations? You seem to be the most familiar with this place.
What have you got?
You're looking at it.
Well, I've lived in the church all my life, and I have saved for many years, and I have 15 gold pieces.
That's not bad.
And I also have a lot of prayers, which may be worth your mortal soul.
Maybe. My mortal soul is probably relatively cheap at this point. But more accurately, I mean, if you're paying money to figure out where you're going, you're descending. So see where you go from there, mister. I don't know.
Can I just not go back?
I mean, you can try. It's slightly more complicated than that, I find.
If we don't give you coin, what do we have to give you?
Oh, it's not me. I'm not. No, I have to pay just like everyone else.
Oh, well, if we don't give coin, then what do we have to give?
Depends on what they ask for. We'll find out.
Oh. I feel really comfortable with this.
You're not the only one.
So once we figured all that, then Prey's going to look for if there's any familiar landmark for a checkpoint they've used before. On the off chance that that's a boat / crossing that they could use from that start.
So it appears that this landing spot is not one you are familiar with. There are some you have stopped at, ones with heavier forests, ones that look like they were part of a small town that just got sucked into hell, into this part of the plains. But this one seems very desolate. You do see in the southern distance a single building, very small, kind of dilapidated from what you can tell, but you can't see because it's a little bit at a distance, but you can hear the lapping of waves in that direction.
Well, where there's water, there's either a drink, somewhat ill-advised, or passage. So I vote we head in the direction of points in the direction the DM indicated of waves.
Oh, okay, I will follow you.
Sure.
Caleb just starts walking in that direction.
And Brett just sort of watched it and goes, follow them.
All right. And very confident, Mikal leads the stomp. You can tell with every step you take, normally when you walk on ground, you can feel the press into the earth against you, but you would compare it most as a player to stomping on hard cement. The ground is so dead and dry, like all of the life has been sucked from it. It doesn't seem to be very far away, this boathouse, but every step you take makes it feel like it is just a little bit farther. But as you start to get closer, you do hear screaming from within the boathouse.
Okay. So probably just had an instinct he's going to conjure his packed weapon. Because screaming is not typically a good sign. But I will approach cautiously and kind of like make mention, like give a signal to everyone else that they might want to keep quiet.
Would you like to approach this stealthily, you might say?
One might say this, yes.
One might say that you could take a stealth roll for me.
Oh, God. All right, give me 1 second. Just for the record, for anybody who doesn't know, stealth and perception are my eternal weaknesses.
Eternal weaknesses. At a 21.
More excited.
Apparently not for Mikhail. All right.
Mikhail does not give a damn about your weaknesses.
Nope, he does not.
The ground is so dead and so quiet. Nothing there to step on. It's easy to get close to the building without making much sound. There is a single window facing the water, and you can actually see the water as you've approached the building. A small boat hangs from there, almost like a gondola with a rounded top, the skull facing off of it. It doesn't look human, but it looks humanoid, with protruding horns broken off at the skull, a very wide jaw, and teeth missing off of its right side. The boat floats back and forth in this very murky, dark water. There is a door next to the window. It is a burgundy color, but looks like it has been faded for hundreds of years.
I kind of look back to Perry, since I'm not going to take a stab at that. Is this an occurrence you're familiar with?
Which part? The boats, the screaming, the gondola?
More so the screaming. I'm not concerned about the boat unless it approaches us.
And Prey sort of gives Mikhail a look that just says something along the lines of non-verbally, "This is hell, you know." And then says, "Occasionally, yes."
Mikhail just kind of pauses. And you said there's a window facing the waterfront, right? On the building?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little peek inside there.
Okay, with your 21, you can do that quite easily and confidently that no one is looking at you. You see what seems to be two men sitting in front of the door, clinging to each other, screaming, while a large, hulking figure, all in black, you can't tell if it's robes or if it's their body themselves, moving around like a mist, towering over them. The window is very dingy. It's hard to see clearly what is happening. The two men are very afraid.
It has occurred to me that I suddenly know. There are people who used to come into our establishment and say, "Oh no, I'm not sure if I can walk into the church because I may just burst into flame." I suddenly know what they feel like.
I think Rana's probably hanging back, like the furthest one away, and they have a little like sun charm in their hand, and they're very nervous. Just very small and nervous.
There's no boatman by the dock, is there?
Mm.
Okay. So
Should we
Mikhail,
help them?
yeah, Mikhail's gonna just kind of nod and walk over to the door and use the butt of his blade to bang on it 3 times.
When you hit it the first time, the screaming goes silent, but when the second and third hit, they begin to scream, "Help! Help me! Help me!" Ah!
And no sign of the door moving.
The door does not move. You can kind of see over to the window that is pretty close to the door that the creature has looked up at you, but is still standing in front of the bodies.
Not sure if you can hear me or not, but Michaela's just going to shout out, "Are you the boatman?"
The creature turns to a table of sorts and sets something down before passing almost through the two men who cower more to open the door. The creature at the door stands at around 8 feet, very thin. It looks like they are wearing robes, but the robes are part of them, covering their face and arms. Yes, I am the boatman. And who are you?
A patron.
I see. Well, I was just pouring tea. Would you like to come in for some before we go?
It would be rude of me not to.
And the boatman turns back and walks. And as he walks, he does travel through the two bodies curled up, and they begin to scream. They look at you, and one crawls to your feet. What are you doing, man? You gotta get out of here. Man, we gotta go. We gotta make a break for it. This is hell, man.
Michaela just kind of looks down at them without saying anything and looks up. So what tea do you have on?
It was hard to get, but I have raspberry.
Michaela just walks past the person begging.
And there is a very nice, fine china tea set. And it smells wonderful in here. The actual small boathouse looks quite lovely. Pastel throw rug on the ground, a few chairs for sitting, little doilies on the table. And this horrifying, hulking creature pours just 8 or 9 cups of tea, unknowing how many will walk through the door.
I will walk through the door because I love tea. But as I go, I'm just going to touch the begging person and just cast Spare the Dying casually. Bless you, my child. And then carry on in.
And as your hand pulls away, he grabs you by the wrist with both hands. It's just you and... Man, you gotta help me. I don't belong here. I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm afraid that I am new to the area. I can try and guide you as best I can, but I am somewhat of a tourist.
Man, you better run yourself. They're gonna rip you to shreds. They're gonna take everything from you. They're gonna rip off your horns and put them places you don't want.
I do not have horns.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't start with them.
Right as they say that, Prey, who is in fact a tiefling, sort of walks over, sort of like squats down in front of them and says, that's really funny you say that because I've been here a couple times and these are still attached. So, that being said, you're clearly bothering my new friend here. And you say you don't belong, that's fine. They have a procedure for this. So, and he just pulls out a business card, places it in the man's hand, and says, if you need representation for your case, we do in fact offer the services to people who would like to get out of hell based on unjust charges. There is a 3-week waiting period, but you'll have something guaranteed for sure.
I mean, it's honestly, it is no bother. I forgive you, okay? And it's no bother to me. But I will go and have tea now. I'm sorry I can't be more help.
And the man sitting looks to his friend, and the friend who has not moved begins to whisper in to the man holding the card's hand into his ear. and they grow silent. Potato Hollow, thank you so
You
much
see
for the
it.
tier 1 gift sub. Thank you so much. Sarah, welcome.
You have
so happy to have.
an advantage to gift to a player of your choice, Sarah. I wonder who.
It's not going to be me.
Anyone but you.
It will be anyone but me.
That is a level of power. So does everyone come in for tea? Rana, do you go into the building?
I do. I'm very suspicious. I too love tea, but I am suspicious as heck, and I feel very bad for this person. So I am going to come in, but they're probably just gonna pause by this person who's on the floor, and they're just gonna like touch their shoulder, and they say, "Hey, it's gonna be okay."
It's not gonna be okay. I listen, lady, you seem real nice, but
It's gonna be okay.
and he looks over and goes, listen, it looks real nice for everyone here. We're all going to be fucking tortured. And the other person who hasn't spoken opens their mouth to speak, but you see there is no tongue to speak.
And then they have a little wiggly line for a mouth, and then they say, "I get that, but I gotta go down here." So they sort of pat them again, and it's a very sweet little gesture on their head, and then they kind of nervously sidle by.
He has taken a vow of silence. That is very honorable.
Oh dear.
And the boatmaster passes out the tea. The ones without tongues usually have the best secrets.
Oh. That is a secure way of keeping them, I guess.
But they don't get to enjoy the tea. And the one who screams keeps telling me no, so more tea for us.
What should we call you?
Don't.
Don't. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Dan de Lion. And we would like passage. This is correct, Parai, Mikhail?
Indeed correct.
Does anyone call you Dandelion?
Why?
No reason. Go
I,
ahead, continue. You're doing great.
I mean, I am not a dandy.
You seem quite dandy.
I think he may be a few drops short of a full pint, if you know what I mean.
I don't. I think he's well.
Drops is generous, I think.
And the figure looks to you and then looks to the rest of the party, eyes stopping on the tiefling. You seem familiar.
I was going to ask, have I met this particular creature before or seen them?
As you see the tea, you do think back to the first time you've gone to hell, and it was probably a good while back. There was a single ferryman that had a boat with flowers inside of it, and it was very strange because it was almost sweet. Didn't ask for passage as long as you were polite to them. And you don't know if it's the same one, but as you're sipping raspberry tea, you think it might be.
We may have met. Does your gondola by any chance have flowers in it? I seem to remember that.
Oh, yes. Right now it's daisies.
I think it was violets the first time I joined, so that was a bit of a time ago.
Oh, many years ago. A good time. Many souls traveled.
Well, I don't count time in souls, but that seems to be a pretty good use of measure.
It is. It is. I remember, yes. You were very, very polite.
I do my best. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate the compliment.
Yes, yes. Are all of you polite? And the creature's face doesn't have a face, but does seem to bore right into your soul.
I try to be.
And he turns to Michael. Oh, I'm not going to say any of your names right for the first hour. The first hour is not going to be names. It's like the first day of high school all over again.
Yep. Mikhail just kind of does his best to put on a brave bravado, but it's very clear that he's out of his element. He has some authority just by his personality, but otherwise he's doing his best to stare at this thing. But the fact it doesn't have a face, he's kind of like, where do I look? But no, just after a while, he just kind of nods his head reverently. See, I can't speak as well.
All right. Well, it seems that I have one more pickup after this. So, when you are finished with your tea, if you would place your cups in the sink and meet me at the boat.
Thank you, that was lovely.
It is lovely. Sometimes we get very wealthy men come down here and try to bribe with tea. They don't seem to understand that it's just a fee for the ride. And it lets out a hoarse noise. It almost sounds like a sharp inhalation after someone was stabbed in the chest. And some of you might know exactly what that sounds like as adventurers. But it's almost like a laugh coming from this creature.
All right, that was not at all unnerving.
Not very polite to say.
I'm pretty sure it's probably heard worse.
You would be so uncomfortable, dear. And he looks directly at you, Raina.
I'm just saying, he's just pointing it out, that's all.
You
Your tea.
seem, and it's not my place to say. I tend to know the sins of those who come down here, but you don't seem to be very sinnerly.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you to notice.
Let's see how long you last. And the creature walks away from you and picks up the two on the ground by the cuffs of their collars and drags them out as they both scream and whimper through the door to the gondola, leaving you alone in a small building.
Rana was putting on a very brave face. They were talking to this person and they were doing just fine. And as soon as they are out and gone, Rana just sinks into themselves.
Are you okay, Rana?
Yep, I'm fine. I'm doing great. It's awesome. Great, it's fine. I'm gonna drink more tea.
You know, I have often been told bad things about the Hells, but so far everyone has been very nice.
Right.
You're not wrong.
But this does lead to the question. Barry, you seem familiar with this individual.
In a manner of speaking.
So in a manner of speaking, what can we bargain with?
I believe you just did, actually. This creature is quite luckily one of the ones that doesn't charge too much. If you're polite and ask nicely, they'll often give you a ride.
Rather ironic for a beast of hell, but if it works, it works.
Some people are just sticklers for certain things, and that tends to carry on sometimes. Who would have guessed?
Who would have known
Okay.
that, like, you know, gatekeeping was a hell offense?
pretty cool job if you get tea, though. Get paid in tea.
The follow-up to that was perfect.
One of my favorite, you can see Scratticus over here. Gatekeeping sends you to hell, confirmed on the Scratticus Academy.
Oh boy. All right.
Well, what do you say we go decorate this boat with dandelions, huh?
Rana looks to Dan.
Are you being literal or figurative? Because figurative I get. Literal is surprising for someone who looks like you, but I suppose red is a nice color.
Mikhail just kind of shrugs. I give up. And stands up and starts walking.
I do not have any magic which can decorate, but I do have some chalks which I use for certain ritual castings. Maybe I could draw some dandelions of those, if you would like, Rana. You are fond of the dandelions?
I'm really fond of flowers, actually. So if the gatekeeper says it's okay.
Of course.
Of course. And and before we leave, Rana's gonna make sure the gatekeeper he's gone.
Whew, there's a whole bit.
How to get on the only nice NPC I'm offering you. Fucking bad sign.
Yeah.
45 minutes in. Let's piss off the nice guy.
Oh, it took us 45 minutes.
The new record!
About to say, isn't this typical for D&D parties? It's like you find the one merchant and you just push it as far as you can get.
Right, you kill the one merchant who's willing to give you a discount.
Exactly. 100% can.
Perfect. Do we make our way out? Do we do anything else in this small
I
housing
put
establishment?
my cup in the sink. And if the teapot is empty, I will put that in the sink. But if it is not, I will leave it.
It
in
is
case
empty.
once more. Oh, okay. I will put that in the sink as well.
And the sink is just full of teacups and other little teapots, all with different designs. You can tell multiple sets ranging from millennia of time, made of different metals, glasses, materials.
They definitely spend like a minute or so just looking at them all because they definitely seem to be like, oh, that one's really nice.
Yeah. Some of them look like they are worth more than anything you've ever seen before, like great kings offering their treasures.
Oh, they don't touch that because they don't want to break it. They don't want to be responsible for that. It's like, yeah, like, oh, sorry, museum hands behind my back.
Beautiful.
And then
Once everyone else is gone, Pere sort of goes in, makes sure the sink is as tidy as possible, like make sure nothing is poised so that it'll fall over and it'll break something else underneath it. Takes out another business card, sort of whips out like a little bit of chalk, writes down a tip freely given, no strings attached, puts it on the table, puts some copper on it, and then walks away.
Very, very good. Thank you. Being nice to my one good NPC. Players don't often give me that, so. So you make your way out. The two men are huddled at the far end of the gondola. The ferryman is sitting outside still, holding his hand onto the skull. You do see daisies filling the boat at the bottom of it, where your feet would go. Loosely tossed in there, there are hundreds of daisies. It's very lovely. You smell them as you approach, but you also have another very violent odor kind of hit your senses. It's the odor of the water. It's putrid. It is dark, almost like a deep red wine color. Cloudy and murky. It smells like old chum, putrid. It's nauseating. So the scent of the daisies really kind of off-puts that for you as you climb into the boat.
And kind of quietly, phrase like, of all the entities and creatures and fairy people of hell, I have only ever met one that gives you air freshener complimentary.
And the ferryman makes another one of those gross chortles. It's a small gift for the torments to come.
Oh, that's considerate. And Prey sort of like steps in the boat and just pops down.
And the two guys look to one another, and the one who can speak looks to you and whispers, "It's a trap, man. It's a trap."
Hold on to the business card, my friend. I think you're going to need it.
How big is this boat?
It is a very large gondola. It looks like it could fit up to 15 people. Sturdy oak.
Okay, then I think Dan will sort of step gingerly onto the boat with their front hooves and then sort of shuffle on with their hind hooves.
And when you put your foot in, it moves in your direction. And like water starts to splash slightly at your foot, and the ferryman goes, "I would not touch the water."
I am trying not to. I'm gonna try and like do. It's too late to jump, but I'm gonna try and jump with my back legs, and it's. I can make a check if you like, because I've worked myself into a state here.
You have physically put yourself in the worst kind of positions. Yes, give me something like a dexterity or an acrobatics or something.
I have never been on a boat before.
A 14. You do rock the boat a bit, but no water splashes. You rock the boat, baby, but you get on just fine.
For like the first time the last hour, Prey sort of like is in the boat already and is rocking back and forth with his, and for the first time looks a little concerned as the
Like-
water sort of lap at the sides, and then like it settles and they're like, oh, okay, no, we're good.
Because Perry knows that as long as you don't touch the water, there's nothing to worry about. Mostly.
I will be like arranging myself in slight circles until I put myself in like space for 4 people and just stand.
Oh, the visuals are amazing. How do you put a horse on a gondola? Here, let me show you.
Carefully.
Exactly.
Oh, Lord. What about this is going to affect anything in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Large horse boy.
Horse boy.
To be clear, I asked Bree just before we went live, are there any restrictions on race?
I said anything that could be sent to hell. Though I did say that horses can't go to hell, so this is a weird side thing.
I don't have a horse brain though. I'm fake.
That's true.
so-
That's it. You don't have a horse's soul.
It's the man in you. So Mikhail is probably going to take a seat, probably beside Perry, honestly, because out of all the people that are here, Mikhail's out of his element. Rana might be out of her element. I don't know. Dan is about to tip over the boat.
Is a horse.
Exactly. So I'm going to stick with the person who knows what they're doing. At least seems to.
The expert.
Exactly.
Sure. Rana will absolutely climb on carefully, hands up like this, and then they go in and they sit down probably close to Dandelion because he's all alone over there.
Having a nice conversation with the tongueless man.
All right. Once all of you have been safely seated, the ferryman climbs on with you. And the rope that was holding the gondola seems to dissipate. And you feel the lurch of the boat as you make your way into this deep abyss of water. The river is deep, and As the boat begins to move, what seemed like the calming laps of waves no longer exist. You begin sucked in a swift torrent of water. It churns below you, aggressively spinning below itself. It moves like water, but upon closer inspection, you can see what seems to be bodies collapsing into each other, disappearing and reforming into a dance, almost a fight. Lost souls. Every splash of the wave looks like a hand reaching for the edge of the boat.
Rana, tell me, have you had any experience with this?
No, I've never been. First time.
Me too.
Cool.
Strangest vacation I've ever had.
Yeah, this is definitely... It's up there.
Wait a minute. It's up there.
It's up there.
Okay. Some questions afterwards.
Ooh, officially scared of them.
Exactly. Is it true what they say about the river?
Which part?
All of it.
Depends on what you've heard. I can't account for every rumor you possibly could have heard in your travels.
This is... Oh boy. You can just see Michaela just kind of like surveying the waters. And once again, he's doing his best to appear confident and sure, but this is making his spine tingle.
Frey sort of pats Michaela on the shoulder and says, you know, say what you want about hell, but they do have an aesthetic. And then sort of like leans back in the boat and just sort of enjoys the trip.
I hope I never live to a point where this is casual.
You never know. I might have said that earlier myself, but here we are.
Fair point.
The man with the tongue leans forward, elbows to his thighs, hands clasped together, looking to all of you. All right, so I get it. That one there, that one's a broker for hell. He does the hell thing. He comes here a lot. He's got the business cards like a little lawyer. All right, that makes sense. The other three of you don't seem to belong. Like me and my buddy here. We've never done anything wrong to belong in hell. I'm Bektar, by the way. I'm Bektar. Never done a damn wrong thing in my life. Maybe once I stole a goat when I was 11, but I've never done anything wrong to get here. What about all of you?
I confess all of my sins to one person only, and I am made amends.
That sounds real gross, man. I don't want to know those details.
Let's just say I don't have a choice.
Actually, as vague and ominous as that sounds, I have to find someone, so I don't have a choice either.
So the two of you love sinners and are out here trying to pull them out.
Rana looks sideways. Well...
Mine is more so repaying a favor.
Okay. Made a deal with the devil. Got it. Am I right? I'm usually quite insightful.
Made a deal with something, yes. Devil, no.
You know, once you get in here, you're not like getting out, right? Mr. Lawyer over here might pull you out, but you're not pulling out any friends. And you might not even make it long enough for his appeals to go through. This is a one-way ticket to not coming home. So I hope whoever wants there is worth it.
My home is down there. So, I gotta.
Listen, honey. I don't know who they are. But they're not worth going to hell for.
Did you say home is down there?
Yeah. He's where my home is. Home's a person for me.
I see. Okay, I thought you meant that you were from the Hells, that you'd been here before.
No.
And I was like, oh, that explains the weird answer to the vacation question. But then brings up so many more questions.
Yeah, I get where you're going. No.
Bucky, right? I have a question for you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you just said that there isn't anybody in hell worth going down for. Just damn your own soul in search of theirs. Is that right?
Yeah, man. You don't go to hell looking for people. You go to hell and you suffer.
I see. So, pardon me for asking, because I don't want to make judgments on your personal life, but are you telling me that there isn't a single person who would want you to come back enough to come and find you here?
I mean, the old lady's got kids to watch. I don't think she's coming to get me.
I see. And I say this because I could ignore a number of sentences you've made up until now, but I take umbrage with that specific sentiment. You see, broker for hell is a bit disingenuous, I would think. I am a freelancer. I am a scribe of the law, as it were. And one of the things that we do as part of our journey is occasionally some people who think they don't belong down here or have reason to believe they were sentenced to hell unjustly petition for their release. Now, this does mean that, for example, in the case that I am in, I'm representing a young man named Sam, who his friends very much don't think belong in hell and who he believes has been sentenced here unjustly. And what you're telling me and implying is that it's not worth going down here to save him. And if that is the case, I might have a very negative opinion on you from now on, which means I won't be able to take your case should you need to appeal your sentencing in hell. So I just want to be very, very clear that that is what you're implying.
And the man without a tongue looks to his friend, looks at you, looks to his friend, looks at you and goes, and the hand motions go kind of wild back and forth to you and to his friend, desperately trying to get Bektar to say something appropriate. And Bektar rolls his eyes. Demons, all of them are the same. You don't know. I don't know. This is hell.
I'm going to cast Sanctuary on the tongueless man.
Oh.
As the powerful light kind of fills him, he nods a little bit.
I pat him consolingly.
But Bektar kind of bites his tongue and crosses his arms. As he does cross his arms, I would like all of you to give me a dexterity saving throw. As
Oh no.
boat skips over a wave, and you must clutch to hang on.
I'm confused.
Oh no! Oh no! That is
I can't wait for you to roll a new character.
that's a roll.
We're talking about the ship, right? The ship's rolling over. That's what you're saying?
The ship hits a large wave, and before it hits the ground, all of you rise above the ship as you are weightless for a moment, all of you are able to just barely hang on, and I'll do some quick rolls for my two friends as well before I describe what happens.
How well can horses swim? Never mind, that's not important in this situation.
All right. So, as it seems, as everyone flies into the air and as the boat crashes back into the water, you all manage to grab your way in. Dandelion, you try to grab onto the boat, but your legs are just all in the way, and though your front of your shins, do horses have shins? Your shins hit the side of the boat, and you roll in. As you...
Before I hit the water, I would like to... instead of cursing, I resort to prayer. That is just one of my things. And this particular prayer, as I see hands reaching for me, is turn undead. Oh, RPG Rebby, thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, everyone!
Hello! Welcome to the party! We just killed Scrat!
Yeah, I'm gonna turn undead, so there's 30 feet they run. I don't know if this works on a Sea of Dead or not, but I really want to see what happens.
Alright. Do you have that to pop in, or do I need to read it?
I can totally pop it as one of the channel divinity things. There you go.
As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer. I guess, just for fun, we'll just roll a d20 and we'll see what kind of happens from there. All right, so.
Tension's too real.
As C. Bradshaw says, beware the water.
So as you hit the water, the man without a tongue also smashes into the water next to you. His holy light kind of radiates from him where Sanctuary was casted. Bektar easily grabs him by the collar and pulls him up. As he does, though, you can see these hands ripping at his clothes from the sea, leaving marks and wounds. As an entire horseman splashes into the water, and Perry, you move off to the side slightly as water splashes in your direction. You give me a wisdom saving throw, Scrat. You have to have something. You can't all be -2, right?
Oh my god!
Dirty 20.
It's very good. So you begin to feel the toils and the pain of this water hitting you as you hit the water, but you seem to regain a basic understanding that this water is bad and you need to get out. And you are able to scramble onto the boat. I would like you to roll me a athletics of sorts to try and get on. Advantage if someone is willing to help you.
I'll help. Me and my 8 strength.
Yeah, if any assistance will give him advantage.
Okay, well.
An 11. So you are able to pull yourself up, but it takes longer than you would like. And you'll take a total of 8 damage before you get on to the boat.
Oof. Yeah, to be clear, I made myself 7'2" from hoof to head, and 450 pounds of horse.
Yeah.
I'm crossing a river in this session. What could possibly go wrong?
About to say, really stacking the deck against yourself there, aren't you?
It's a brand. It's a brand.
Fair enough.
Best kind of brand, really.
As you lay on this boat, you're breathing heavily, trying to get your wits about you. You begin thinking, where am I? Why am I here? My name is Something flower related. Dan. My name's Dan. Okay, I have the name. I worship a god. I'm very into that. But everything else seems very fuzzy. Almost like your memory was drained in the river. Gosh, I wish you would have failed that wisdom save. Part of me does. Ooh, I would have got you real good.
So Pere sort of like leans over Dan, making very careful not to touch any of the water still dripping over them, and is like, do you remember what number this is? And just holds like 2 fingers up. Do you remember what number this is? Do you remember what numbers are?
Yes, two.
Okay, well, you're not like completely gone then. Quick summary, because this is going to be probably important later. You are Dandelion, you still don't know why you're here, and you're about 400 pounds of surprisingly unaerodynamic.
Description.
Yes.
Just yes.
Are you okay?
I'm sure everything will be okay.
Oh good, the optimism's still there.
And as things begin to settle on the boat, the water is still rushing around you. You're going at speeds that are extremely uncomfortable. If you've never been on a boat before, you do begin to feel the slight bit of seasickness of sorts. But in the distance, you see what seems to be a forest line, perhaps another island. The ferryman, as he turns the scull, the boat makes a veer towards it. We have one more pickup before Avernus, and we will be set to go.
Why on earth?
As you
Suddenly appropriate music, okay.
Sorry, everyone's face looked a little shook.
I couldn't tell if it was coming from Roll20 or something in my computer started, so I was just like, wait a minute, hold on, where is that coming from?
So the island is full of pine trees. A thick layer of fog covers all of them. Standing at the edge of the water seems to be a little girl. She's holding a large walking stick. She wears a large, puffy dress with frills and pockets. She has long, pale blonde hair and a big, slouchy hat. Looks no more than 8 years old. As you pull up towards the ferry. As the boat stops and she begins to attempt her step on, the 2 men leap past her, knocking her square on her butt, and run into the forest line.
Can I take an Eldritch Blast at one of them?
You may take an Eldritch Blast at one of them. Okay. Which one? The one with the tongue or the one without a tongue? Bektar or...
Tongueless.
All right.
I'm going to be aiming at Blabbermouth.
All right.
All right. And so level 5, so that should be...
Yeah, that does
Well,
it.
yeah. Glad we used those on something important. Wow.
Okay.
Don't call
I'm glad
attention
you
to
saved
it.
your double nat 20. Wow. So
Morals, clearly important.
the blast flies and smashes into him, knocking him to the ground. But he slowly begins to stand with the help of his tongueless friend as they pass through the tree line. The little girl begins to whimper as she kind of rubs her hands that are now marked and scabbed.
Kale goes to help her.
And as you reach for her, she smiles and takes your hand and stands. Thank you, sir. That was very mean.
It was indeed. Hopefully they'll learn their lesson. You're all right, though.
I'm okay. Things are okay. This could be a lot worse, so it's okay.
Good. Mikhail just kind of walks her over to a seat and will actually sit beside her for the rest of the trip.
The ferryman sighs. Those ones can't get away. How unfortunate. Yes, but their sins are atrocious. So knocking over one person is not much to worry about. Bektar Mosius has killed thousands. And his friend lost his tongue because he spoke of his evil patron one too many times. They are looking for something. Don't know if they know where they're going or not. But if they find it, they will return. I even offered them tea.
Sounds like they're making a lot of work for you.
They are a lot of work for me. I offer them tea, somewhere to sit. And all they care about is getting back to the land of the living, to finish what they started. The little girl looks up. You're a big, strong man. Can't you go get them back?
Is she saying this to Mikhail?
Mikhail looks at you with big blue eyes.
Mikhail just kind of looks to her, like a little dumbfounded at first, like why would she even think of this idea? And then you see slowly starts easing into an oddly warm expression. Yeah. I suppose it's only right. If these truly are as horrible people as you say, consider this a gift, taking out what blights you. Said some good, ferryman.
Yes. And I will put in a good word when you land. If you can fetch those two idiots.
Do they need to be breathing?
It's a little weird here.
Noted. Mikhail looks over to the little girl one more time and just kind of pats her head in almost a fatherly manner before standing up and moving off the boat.
This time I am waiting till last.
Oh, we're okay.
The little girl looks to all of you with expecting eyes. I'll come and help if you want.
No, I think maybe I'll just go help, and I'm gonna get up and go also.
And she flashes a grin with her like little teeth. You can tell they haven't even all grown in. She's missing one of her canines.
Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Okay.
This time, when everyone is off the boat, I'm just going to take a run and just jump.
And you rock the boat. The little girl grabs onto the seat she's sitting in as she kind of shakes a little. Bye, horsey.
I'm okay.
Pere sort of standing on like the bank as this happened is like, "That's not your name, by the way." Then turns and looks at the little girl, and I would like to roll insight.
I was kind of answering like, oh no, I'm so nervous.
Pere doesn't necessarily care if they're like more than they seem, but like he wants to know.
You can roll an insight check.
It's going to end badly. 13. All right.
13 is pretty good.
It's not awful.
She appears to be a little human girl.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes, and from what you can tell, she is a little human girl. She does seem very sweet, and it doesn't seem disingenuous.
Okay.
But something tells you deep within your bones, as someone who's traveled to hell a time or two, that she may not be evil, but there's definitely a reason she belongs in hell.
So Pere walks away a little bit and then turns around and does like the Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then like keeps going.
And the little girl goes hung out at you.
Based on that alone, Pere does not trust that girl at all. But like, saccharine things don't tend to last long in hell without reason.
I do also love chat. Everyone's like, fuck the little girl. She's absolutely evil.
She's the greatest, and she's so adorable. It's like, yes, that's why we're going to die.
Dan is kind of looking at the little girl. And looking at Rana. And looking at the little girl. And looking at Rana. And just follows Pere.
Rana's just sort of shrugs like, don't know what that was about, and then keeps going too.
Okay. So it's quite easy for you to make your way into the woods, but there seems to be no path, no rhyme, no reason. So the question is, are any of you good at tracking?
Maybe not exactly that, but do I remember like anything that they had on them? Like clothes, something, anything that an object for which I can cast locate.
Yes, I would say you would. That's a little loud. Bektar was dressed in a simple collared shirt with a set of what seemed to be leathers underneath. He seemed to be carrying daggers, very simple, but his friend was wearing a very strange charm around his neck. It was slightly curved, almost kind of like in the shape of a rainbow, but not as turned. It almost looked like it was a broken, jagged piece of it. It had a simple runic swirl in it, and it was on a simple piece of leather.
Sure. I will locate that object.
Perfect. All right, let's see this. Describe an object is familiar to you. All right. Yeah, you, like a locating signal, you can sense this object moving through the woods, bouncing off his neck, veering, zigzagging through the tree line as if to lessen a scent, perhaps, in the way they're moving. They're moving deep and quickly into the woods, and you can follow into that direction if you would like.
Radar it, and then beep, 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 beep. Okay.
Ah, you have a godly perception spell. GPS.
Yeah, GPS. You too?
No, I did not specialize it that way.
Oh, that hurt.
That one was painful.
That hurt. The god of travelers, Garmin.
All right.
Do you all
lead
follow
us
in that
that
direction?
way.
All right. So, Rana leads the pact.
What's the lighting like in this area?
It is dim lighting, but there seems to be some sort of light from the empty sky above you. You see no sun, no moon, no stars, but it peers in through the tree lines here and there. Some steps are far darker than others, but there's generally enough lighting to walk without tripping and falling.
Gotcha. Okay.
Rana, as you are leading, I would like you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, excellent. I'm really excited to roll this wisdom saving throw as soon as I can get to it on my sheet. Here we go.
Very good.
Not bad at all.
Huh.
I know. What is with all these 27 nat 20 rolls? It's powerful.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a
I'm
conspiracy.
wise as fuck. Yes.
All right. So you sense
Said the
something in the
prophet.
back of your mind, almost like a tinge, like a tingling feeling at the back of your neck. A few hairs stand up. You can't quite tell what it was, but it felt like something was itching into your mind almost. But you were able to continue on.
Sure. I love that. I love doing that. I love continuing on. Did anybody else feel that?
Feel what?
Oh, okay. Yep. That answers that question. Sure. Great. Let's keep going.
Wonderful. So yes, you're able to continue forth, and you sense them getting closer. And then you sense them going lower? Almost like somewhere below you, there is a place to continue forward. The way it bounces off, because you can almost see it as a glowing light through everything. Bouncing off his chest like he's climbing down a ladder. Maybe.
Because I think there's a basement or something here.
Oh, really?
There's a it goes down.
It's about 8 of them, to be exact.
Ha 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 ha.
Where might we find such a thing? And you see Mikhail just kind of like checking the ground.
I think it's up ahead where they went down the ladder. So
I see.
we'll probably find it. Just be careful. Don't like walk off without the ladder or something, because that would just be comedic and then terrible. So
Can everyone see all right in this?
Everyone should be able to see okay right now, more or less.
For the
Not so-
moment.
For the moment.
If it gets much darker, I have many candles.
Mikhail just kind of puts his hand on his packed weapon and casts a light cantrip. I've got you covered.
Dandelion, how many candles do you have? Just for the audience.
10.
10 candles.
I have the priest's pack. It's full of all sorts of wonderful things. I have 2 holy symbols in case one breaks. I have my prayer book. I have vestments, sticks of incense, blocks of incense, a censer.
You're in the perfect place.
Yeah, really.
Not out of
Are
your
there
element at all.
snacks in there?
Any what, sorry?
Snacks? I thought you
I
were
have
prepared.
2 days worth of rations.
Oh,
Apparently the priest pack has less rations than any other pack. It only has 2 days.
All the room is for candles.
It's for the fasting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Rana, you were able to find the ladder. It seems to be covered with moss. It's a small hatched doorway that leads into the darkness below.
and they're gonna kind of. Is the doorway open?
It is
Leave it
not,
open?
but you could find it with ease. It is sealed shut.
Cool. I'm just gonna. Oh, that was really polite of them that they closed the door on their way down. That's not worrying at all. Someone stronger than me should probably open this. And they kind of gesture to it and stand back.
Mikhail just looks to Dan.
I mean, I have the protection of the Lord. I will gladly do this for you all.
Appreciate it.
I'll take my holy symbol in one hand, the door handle in the other, and open it like a SAS, person infiltrating a house with a gun, but with the holy symbol.
And when you open it up, thousands of demons come pouring out and they tear you apart into a million pieces. It's the end. Game over. That's how we end the game.
That almost happened in the river, don't joke.
No, you can pluck open the door with no problem. As you do, though, a waft of cold air hits all of you from below in this dark area. And as it does, Rana, you feel that tingling in the back of your head again.
Hey, it's cooler down here. Perhaps it is a wine cellar. Maybe we are in luck.
I don't. Okay, I've been trying to think of a polite way to. Exactly how are you planning to navigate a ladder?
I have no idea.
Okay, so just needed to. That thought was forefront in my mind since you opened the door. I needed to ask. I will be going after Dan, if that's okay.
I'll follow your lead on that one.
So who's going first?
I feel like I should go first. I volunteered.
Rana, you sense the piece of jewelry is not far from the bottom of this ladder.
Okay, but they're pretty close to the bottom. So, like, when you get down there, they're gonna be right there, I think.
How far down do you know?
How far down do I know?
You can sense it is about a 30-foot ladder.
I can sense that it's about a 30-foot ladder.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, did anybody feel that again?
Keep
Good luck.
mentioning of that.
The draft when they open the door. Or?
I guess it was like this little like a tingly in the back of my head, and like I have a really sick undercut, but like I thought at first it might have been just like a breeze, but like I don't think that's what it was. No,
It could just be nerves.
could just be nerves.
Rana, you can roll me a perception check if you would like. And if
Absolutely.
anyone else is curious, they could also roll perception checks.
Perception?
Perception.
Hooray is not curious.
Yeah. So you remember when I said perception is the bane of my existence? There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very confident 5.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
no
Not a
way around
0.
here.
You haven't hit rock bottom yet.
That's true.
It could
It
always,
could always get worse.
Yeah, we
always
just set
get
the bar
worse.
low. Really, really, really low.
Rana, with a 17, you're kind of looking around as you feel this tingling in the back of your neck. About 10 feet away into the forest, you see a man peering at you. And it's It's a familiar sense. The man looking at you seems like a man who has looked at you 100,000 times. Someone you see every time you close your eyes. Someone you see every time you open your eyes. Someone that makes you think of home every single day. But he looks almost wrong. Eyes wide in a state of horror as he stares at you.
Can I tell if it's really him?
Would you like to step closer to see?
Slowly, like a couple steps, just to get a better sight, like line of sight on him.
You step closer, and he steps away from behind the tree line. And the tingle in the back of your neck is there again. And you immediately can tell, and I'm holding on to the same 27 wisdom save, you can tell that this is not really him. But what your eyes see is the man that you love with 20 pole arms sticking out of his body like a pin cushion, staring at you wide with horror, mouth agape.
Oh man. So I know it's not him, but it's really hard not to go to him because they're just sort of standing there like, I have to find you, so I can't stay here with you like this. I'm sorry, Mark. And they're having a really hard time looking away from him, and they just, does anybody else see him?
See.
You all turn to look in the direction Rana is looking. And it is an 8-year-old girl holding a staff, waving at all of you. But all Rana sees is the horrified face of the man they love dead. But everyone else, you just see the little girl going, "Hey guys."
What are you doing out of the boat?
Foray sort of like walks around to Ron and says, "I'm sorry, what is it exactly you're seeing?" And if I can hazard a guess, it's not the small girl from the boat.
Is that what it is?
That's a murky question currently, but I knew it.
I'm doing it again, aren't I? I'm sorry. And she puts her hands in her face and she rubs her face and she looks up, and when she does that, the visage fades from her and it's just the little girl.
Oh.
Sorry. The ferryman said that you might get lost, and he wanted to let you know that there was a trap door somewhere down here. But you found it.
At this point, Dan has lowered his back hoofs onto the rungs of the ladder. And is trying desperately to maneuver his front hooves onto the rungs of the ladder. It is not comfortable.
The little girl looks at you. Why don't they just lower you with a rope?
We have enough rope?
I guess that's not a bad idea.
We have enough strength, more importantly. I'm not particularly strong, so.
And neither am I.
No, not at all.
And as the rest of the party is like, we're not really that strong, neither am I, me neither. Prey just sort of looks at the little girl like, well.
I mean, I can help.
I wouldn't expect to put that much stress on a little one.
I wouldn't expect that's much stress at all, frankly.
Mm.
Or we could fall. When I was a little girl, we had a horse. And when she broke her leg, my dad turned her into glue.
Rana has these perfectly round eyes, and they're looking not at the girl at all. Just, oh. Absolutely.
That is awfully pragmatic of you.
Well, it wasn't me, it was my dad. Dad's a very smart man.
Didn't he know a cleric?
No, he wasn't a cleric type.
That was the horse.
He found a new family and then he burnt our farm down. And that's how I ended up here. He said I was haunted.
Haunted or hunted?
Haunted. Like ghosts. I guess he was right.
Would you step closer? A little closer. A little closer.
The girl walks right up to you, like hanging over the ledge.
I cast,
Rana takes a couple steps back.
I cast Sanctuary on the little girl.
And as you do, it feels almost weird, like something is repelling against your spell, and it doesn't take effect. But it's not her, it's something within her.
Oh. Detect good and evil.
Yes.
You sense that there is some form of creature located here. A fiend of sorts. But it almost seems to be within the little girl and not the little girl herself.
I am desperately trying to bless you, my child. But there is something repelling against me.
It's haunted.
I guess that it is.
Yes. So are you going into the ladder, or are we lowering you, or are we turning you into glue?
I will not be needed to turn into glue. I took Lester Restoration. This is not my first rodeo.
Puree sort of snorts because he's not sure Dandelion realizes the sentence that just came out of their mouths, but he does. And it's hysterical, but he's trying to be very polite about it.
Well, no one is rushing to get rope.
I mean, I have a rope. I'm just not quite sure if it's going to make a difference. We can try, but probably would need some help for this kind of thing.
I mean, if nothing else, I'll lend a hand. I'm not particularly powerful, but...
Sure. I'm gonna go get a rope. Why don't you get planted? Or whatever it is you do. So yeah, I have, I think, is that 10-foot rope? I think that's a 10-foot rope. So I have one 10-foot rope. We need at least 2 or 3 more. Probably 3 would be best.
Give me a second, because I actually have a Dungeoneer's pack. I can't remember what's all inside.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
have anything.
The priest pack does not come with a rope. However, I do have an arms box.
Good to
If we
know.
need,
Very
if we-
practical, helpful things to have on you at any given time.
if we need to,
We need alms for the hell touched.
I've got a 50-foot rope.
There we go. My kale is ready.
Yep. Also have a hammer, crowbar, pittance, torches, the whole nine. So.
Okay. So, I have an idea. If we split that in half and loop it up so that we can hold on from both sides and slowly lower Dandelion, all they have to do is fall 5 feet. Can you fall 5 feet? Without breaking anything, I guess, caveat.
I believe so.
Excellent. Rana, do you want to take that side? Like, Bird points to the side that Mikhail currently isn't on. And
He's like,
Sure. If you think I'll be of help.
I mean, I think honestly, the more people we have, the better. I think it's going to be more of a numbers over brutes kind of thing.
And the little girl will walk over to Mikhail's side.
Oh, excellent.
Mikhail, I can help you.
Hey, you.
Excellent.
Rhonda's gonna go to the other side then.
All right.
They were going towards Mikhail, then they circle back around to the other side. Very like sort of wind up toy walk. Like, okay, I'm here to help.
Everyone, roll me in athletics.
Oh, yay!
I mean, even with the rope around me, I think I am going to try and.
Uh-oh. I am
I
concerned.
have a 0 in that skill. That's hysterical.
I have a -1 and look! I still did a 14.
Hey, double digits! Hey!
Everyone rolled well enough to lower Dandelion. You were all so worried, and Dandelion, they hoist you down with ease.
I've decided Parade didn't actually help that much. He was just very inspiring.
Taskmaster. Yeah. Oversight.
Yes.
Beautiful.
A bit of balancing trick going on there.
Okay,
Dandelion,
so
you were,
the nice thing about having hands and 4 legs is I can untie the rope and drop the last 5 feet.
It's true. Well,
and you land. You were in a small room. Do you have dark vision?
No.
And
But-
you are in a pitch black room.
but 10 candles.
Are they wet? Are they all wet though?
They're wax.
All right, it's fine. I don't know if that means anything, but you were in a very small
It's going to
room.
be a very smoky candle, but we'll probably.
Yeah.
You're in a very small room, but you see a single doorway right in front of you.
There is a single door. I will open it now.
Oh, please, by all means, feel free.
I'm going to prop up my holy symbol on the candle holder.
Tactical holy symbol.
Tactical holy symbol, thank you.
Oy.
And then open the door.
You peer into the door, and it is a room with many lit candles, all red. The room irradiating a red light, and the 2 men are hunting through old bags, satchels, and boxes. Look harder, Bart. It's got to be here somewhere. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. They're gonna come. Someone's gonna come looking for us. You know one of those guys are gonna come looking for us.
Hello?
Shit! Hey, man, you finally caught wind, and you're helping us now, right? So we can get the hell out of hell, right? Right, buddy?
Are you acting in my best interests?
I'm acting in the let's get out of hell interests.
Can we hear
I-
any of this conversation from
All
Yeah,
of it.
can we be heading down?
All of it.
I would
Perez,
like
maybe we should.
I'm going down. I'm going down next.
I would like
Yeah.
to insight check this person.
You can insight check this person. It's an 18. It is clear they are out for their best interest, and their best interest is to find whatever they are looking for in here. You do believe that they are saying to get out of hell. You do believe they are attempting to get out of hell. They're being truthful in that. But it's not for anyone's best interest, but they need to get out of hell.
Tell me, usually getting out of hell would require some sort of repentance, some sort of acceptance of the things that you did wrong, and a confession of your sins.
That's before, man. This is after. It's too late now.
I am a holy man here in hell. I will gladly hear your confessions and pardon you should you wish.
No, none of that's gonna work. I've got work to do up on land, up on earth, up on the plains, the land of the living. I need to get up there. I got work to do.
So in the time that this conversation is going on, could Mikhail like fasten one of the ropes so we could just drop down, like zipline down
Oh,
there?
definitely. You guys can be down there and peering in now.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Mikhail will just drop in behind Dan and just listen.
Before Prey goes down, Prego turns to the little girl. He's like, "Could you go inform the ferrymen that we have found them and they're at the trapdoor? I feel like they'd like to know."
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you. And as she turns around, something shimmers within her, almost like a second face from behind. A floating essence smiles at you before dissipating within her again.
Then goes, Prey does Sokka part 2 and then goes down.
Well, my friends, I believe if you do not have no interest in repentance and just want to get back to the land of the living, that you are indeed willing to continue your life of sin, and thus I feel like you are supposed to be here in hell, and it is my duty to keep you here.
That's rich, man. That's rich. But nah. I heard that the rest of the piece is here. We're gonna get out of here, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna work, and we don't.
May I insight check the other person as well? The tongueless person?
Yes, of course. What is your insight for them?
I just want to see if they are doing the same thing they were doing earlier, where they were like, "What are you saying? He could help us," or if they're kind of, "I'm going to get out of hell and kill people."
You can run an insight check, yeah. 10. It's a little bit harder to tell with this guy.
Actually,
Oh.
that's the wrong one. No, never mind. 10. 10. Don't worry about that. Ignore that. You didn't see anything.
You can tell he's a little twitchy, and he reaches up and touches something to his neck. It must have been what Rana was using to find them. He doesn't look like he's arguing with anyone's eyes. He almost looks shameful and uncomfortable. Like he's in a situation that he's in, but he can't get out, or he doesn't want to get out, and he's just very uncomfortable. But he's like looking around for something in these boxes, kind of trying to look at you and then look into a bag and look at you and look into a bag, kind of very fidgety.
You said that his charm looked broken, right?
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's a piece of something.
Sure. Can I cast locate object again, but can I locate the other piece?
Yes. What is your spellcasting modifier? Wisdom?
Yeah.
Roll me a straight wisdom.
Sure.
So you look at him as he's twitching at it, and you kind of get an understanding of the way the pieces have jagged. You kind of examine it a bit, and you don't quite know what this amulet is for, but you think you can put the pieces together to cast this spell to find the missing piece, and you can cast it. And when you do locate object, it is a piece of the same size, and it is in a satchel right next to Bektar, an unopened satchel.
Okay.
Since you are not willing to repent, but I believe your friend is, I believe we are done talking, Bektar?
Man, you're not taking me back.
No, you're staying here.
I mean, you're not taking me back to that ferry.
I would like to bop him on the head.
You can hold, please. You can roll initiative if you'd like.
Roll to bop.
Do I get a surprise round?
You know, Scrat, for you, anything. Yes, you can have one
Aw.
surprise round on Bektar.
So, because I insight check them, I have advantage on my attack.
Okay.
I would like to bop them with my mace.
Okay.
That would be a 20.
A 20 will hit.
And I do 14 points of damage, including some sneak attack. Hi everyone, I'm not a cleric.
I love you. Yes, you are perfect. Excellent. So you deal 14 damage to him, and you may roll your initiative.
Thank you. Oh, damn!
Wow. Oh.
Garbage. Not quite as garbage as whoever that is.
All right. Well, Dan, you are feeling ready to go, and you're good to go.
And this person is, they are not down or anything?
They're not down.
But I don't want to kill them. But we
You
are
said
in
the
hell,
focus
so where the hell are
fuzzy.
they gonna go? Oh, moral dilemma. I will just hit them with my mace again and worry about it later. 15?
15 does not hit.
As a bonus action, I would like to conjure a mace behind them. And because it's coming from behind them, sneak attack! 16 points of damage. Oh, look at those sneaky sneaks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Perfect. Next up is Rana.
I'm going to go for that bag.
You're going for the bag?
Yep. And I would really like it if I could try and do it stealthily.
Roll me a stealth.
Cool.
15. Yeah. I'm going to roll a. Yeah, you were able to sneak by and grab the bag. No problem. Is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn, a bonus action or any of that?
I guess I will just tuck it away so that nobody knows I have it right now, or at least they don't know I have it. The Becky.
All right. And let's see. That'll be the end of your turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna step back out as much as I have movement to do.
Okay. Perry, I believe it is your turn next. Or is it my weird guy's turn? Actually,
weird guy.
Yeah, no, it is actually Bektar's turn. Bektar is mad at you. Dan? I don't know why he would be mad at you, but he is very, very mad. And he is going to make 2 stabs at you. Does a 21 hit?
A 21 does hit.
Okay. 6 damage, and because his friend is within 5 feet of you, he's not in combat yet, so we'll say no. He doesn't use a sneak attack damage on you. He does 6 piercing damage. And that is all he does for his turn. Now it is Perry's turn.
Frey's going to draw a short bow, fire an arrow at Bektar because, quite frankly, Bektar's been very rude this whole time, and he doesn't really necessarily have anything.
Not too keen on that.
Yeah, more importantly, like, Pare is not particularly moral about who is in hell or not, but Tongueless Person has shown a degree of common sense at the very least, and Bektar has been very rude the whole time, so Bektar it is. And so we're going to roll for short bow.
Beautiful. A 23 does hit.
Fabulous.
Thank you, Zombie Knight, who gifts their subscription sub to me. And remember, Rana, you have an advantage from your wife.
Very, very good.
Roll 8.
Oh.
That's 8.
8 damage.
And because that is in 5 feet of thing, it is also time for more sneak attacking. So much sneak attacking in this game.
Everyone's sneak attacking.
Yeah. All right, how do I...
This is where Rana reveals levels in Rogue as well. We're just one big
Everyone
Rogue
level
party.
Rogue.
Okay.
Surprise, everyone!
This apparently is not letting me do a thing right this moment, so I'm just going to roll 3d6 and do that. Okay, that's not bad. So 18 damage to the everything.
And he will uncanny dodge that as well.
Sure.
And
And then I'm going to bonus action help. I'm going to help Mikhail in hitting Bektar, and by doing so being like, hey, he's open over here. And by over here, I mean the direction that Bektar is facing now that he's dodged what I've swung. But I'm very clearly like pointing, go around the other way. Don't attack him where I just attacked him. He's going to notice.
Michael, it's your turn.
All right. So Mikhail is going to run up with his packed longsword into the blind spot created by Perry. And let's see what we can do with this. So one-handed. Whew.
You
Yeah.
swing your weapon and you stab a satchel next to him, spilling out the contents of sand.
Doesn't he have advantage, though, from what I just
Oh,
did?
you do. You did just do that, didn't you? Yeah, thank God. Yeah, a 25
Help
is much
me.
better than a... Helpful! Yep, a 25 does hit.
Alrighty. So that's 9. And then I will follow it up with a second attack thanks to the evocation Thirsting Blade. So let's try this again.
Okay.
17.
You were able to hit him once again.
There we go. Another 9.
And the 9 pierces through him, and he lets out a guttural noise. In a strange language. Do any of you speak? I'm guessing one person speaks Infernal. Am I right? Excellent.
I do.
I also
Very-
speak Infernal.
And Dan, in blood,
Excellent. Yay.
as he coughs up blood, he looks to his friend Bart and says, Unleash it. And he crumbles. He is what seems to be dead, but not dead. His chest still heaves, but everything else screams dead man.
Pray looks at. Can I free action talk?
Reaction talk.
Okay. Pray looks at Bart, sort of like shakes his head and goes, "We were doing so well."
Bart looks to all of you and opens his mouth, and an infernal, a voice that is not human by any means.
He says to unleash me.
And I would like all of you to make me. Hold on. Do. Let me see how this is going to go.
This is where I die.
All of you need to make me dexterity saving throws.
Oh no!
God.
Maybe not. Maybe. I'm going to use my advantage here now. Sure am.
Seems fair.
Everyone.
That's really good that you did. Holy crap!
Yay!
So everyone but Scrat succeeded.
I am a large horse. I think it would be ridiculous for me to be able to dodge the fireball.
And it is a very small room. So all of you will take, what is that? 8 damage, and Scrat will take the, wait, no. Yeah. 8 damage, and Scrat will take the full 17.
That is fine.
And that is his turn. Next up is Scrat. You rolled that 18.
I would like to speak my word of radiance, which is pardon.
Is it
And
just pardon?
it's just pardon. I can't put. Well, I could possibly put the sneak attack, but I'm not going to put sneak attack damage on that. It's more the effect. I was hoping to get the spell description come up. They do need to make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw or receive 7 points of radiant damage. Let's see if I can get the spell thing up as well.
Well, he does not take 7 points of radiant damage. He there's my nat 20 of the night.
So what I actually wanted, I'm going to roll it again. There'll be more damage, but we'll also get the description.
You
Is
utter
this-
divine word.
Kentucky Hawkeye, thank you so much for them biddies. Paray and Mikhail both have advantage.
Hells yeah.
I utter my divine word, and light bursts from me, erupting in divine radiance. And I would like to use my bonus action or anything just to talk and just be like, do not release the thing, but you have been reasonable so far. I believe you can repent and go on your merry way. You should be fearful in the eyes of the Lord. I would like to use the most religious intimidation I've ever used.
You can roll an intimidation.
Okay, not awful, not awful. Do I have anything? No, okay. I'd like to use my advantage.
Okay. A 21!
Didn't even need it.
He shudders and shakes, opens his mouth, and the infernal comes out again. The fiend that I work for is somewhere in these hells. I'm not too worried about it. I've met my end of the contract, but he offered a way out. There is a way out of the hells.
You sound desperate. We can help you. You can repent your sins and go on an innocent man.
Is not. And he touches his necklace again. There's a way out of the hells freely. No boats, no penance, no anything.
If you are willing, we can change your alignment back to good.
Huh.
That wasn't even meta, okay? It sounded like it was, but it wasn't.
100%.
That is a thing.
Oh, sure.
So, before we get on to the whole whatever that is, your patron, so if I'm right in assuming you're a warlock at this point, your patron said that, so was it your patron or was it this corpse that told you of a way out of the hells?
We worked together on a lot of things. Bektar is an idiot, but Bektar is a good killer. Everyone likes a good killer when you're a fiend in the hells.
Yes, but I mean, not even just for fun, but he could be quite useful. Regardless, So was it he who informed you of this way out of hell, as it were?
No.
Okay,
No. My patron informed us.
I see. And
I
this was after you finished your contract, yes?
Yes. Once I reached the Hells, my contract was complete. But if
Okay.
I wanted to resign,
You couldn't just go down to their office. You are in their building, after all.
well, I would have to find the good way out. The
Would
best.
that not be part of the resigning? Wait, hold on. Are you? I'm sorry. There are some things that I really can understand. It's people who don't understand things like procedures. So you're telling me that your fiend patron offered you a signing bonus or a way out of hell after your contract was done. And instead of questioning a fiend being very nice to you all of a sudden, once your contract and therefore your terms of agreement are over, you decided to believe them instead of going down a couple of floors, finding their office, and signing there.
Well, this is just one of the pieces. We have to keep going. I kept telling Bektar, but he wouldn't listen. He's so afraid of reaching Avernus. He won't listen to me. We have to
Avernus
go.
isn't that bad.
It's honestly not that bad.
See, okay, thank you. Someone with common sense. Look, number 1 out of 9 can't possibly be that bad. But
Whilst this is all going on, Dan is hastily translating to Rana and Mikhail in the gaps in
about to
speech.
say. Mikhail is like sitting over with Rana. Do you understand?
meanwhile, there's like angry demon noises coming out of her, like constantly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, so you need to find these pieces for what exactly? Is that your way out? Is that part of your contract? Like, what exactly? How does this work?
And he's going to flit through his pockets and he's going to pull out a drawing of something.
Okay.
And it is of a full-pieced amulet. A small chunk of it looks familiar as it dangles from his neck.
Okay.
This is the amulet of the plains. If I get all of the pieces, I can travel from plane to plane. Or my patron can travel from plane to plane.
Oh.
It is a key out of hell.
May I
So
take a
you're
little
doing this-
look?
Are you doing this more like some sort of alm as a measure of proving this your worthiness of this pact again, or is it just you're getting this to run?
And he looks around. Between you and me, the demons and the devils all know of this existence of the Amulet of the Plains being in the Hells.
Reasonable.
My patron isn't the greatest of all. I mean, he is a fiend down here. But if anyone gets their hands on all of the pieces, start transporting demons into the heavens. It's probably best that we get it first. Well, me get it first. Bektar is indisposed.
That is not something I can allow.
This, of course, coming from Dan's translation, so a little bit after the fact.
Yeah, and I'll say to Mikhail, no, me neither. This is something that we cannot allow.
Oh, wait, hold on. So you're trying to get the Emerald of the Plains for you, and by byproduct, this means that the demons of Avernus and any of the other nine hells don't get it. Is that am I getting that right?
Oh, yeah. Listen, you really like my patron. You seem pretty well versed. He's in Phlegethos? Flemmy?
Fleggy, yes.
That one. He's kind of he's a little touchy, but it's kind of endearing. Very kind of cute, but it's either he gets his hands on it or who knows? An angry devil.
Well, I don't necessarily have a problem with that happening. But I think all of my friends might have some issues with it. So if you'd like to take it up with them, all three of them, the ones who just soundly thrashed your friend and didn't die when you opened up your mouth and spewed infernal language at them, you are more than welcome to try. I just don't think it's going to go well for you. And it's looking very, very bad for your chances of getting legitimate way out of here. By that, I mean, I think you torched your friend's business card over there. It's sort of like flickering in the corner of ashes.
Turns to Dan. Oh, holy man.
Yes.
I mean, I have someone down here I can stay with. Bektar doesn't. I'm not... I belong in hell because I like a fiend. I mean, we have a bit of a thing.
Oh, okay. You are a willing recipient of hell. Well, you know, I forgive you.
But it's one of those things where he wanted it, so it went. Honestly, if you ever make it down there, you should say hello to him. He's quite a sweet man.
Will there be tea?
Maybe not tea. He's not much of a tea man. I mean, there will probably be something to eat. I haven't been to hell yet. But you don't belong in hell.
Ah, you're a fanboy.
Perry.
Yeah.
If you would, ask this person the name of their patron.
My very stoic-looking friend over there wants to know the name of your patron.
Why?
Presumably because he's very stoic.
I'm so sad I don't understand.
Ask him.
Exactly.
Translate. I mean, and I can hear him. I've been able to hear you all from the beginning.
Yes.
Ask him why.
He wants to know why. I told him it was because you're stoic and vaguely hero-looking.
Oh. Okay. Well, don't know how to respond to that last part, but
I could be wrong. I'm just spitballing here.
no. Tell him I just need to know if he's a person I need to speak to.
Oh, well, he can understand you, so.
Well, there we go.
Tell him that the only time he would need to speak to my patron is if he's a lonely man who reached out to a fiend when he was lonely. And he kind of squinches his eyebrows like...
Hooray, starts to turn to translate, stops, turns back around, looks at Bard, right?
Bard, yes.
And then just kind of very, very sort of quietly, points, does this, points at him. Not having a tongue must make that very difficult, huh? And then he turns back around to Mikhail and says, well, unless you've been alone and horny for a horny, I think you probably don't know them.
Rana blushes.
I'm so sorry. And it's not even looking, just I am very sorry that you had to hear that.
It's okay, you know.
Kale just kind of looks at the tongueless man and then looks at his sword. I'm afraid I must insist.
Well, he's insisting, clearly.
So wait,
Okay.
what is the plan now? We are...
Well, Michaela's very lonely, and so we're trying to solve that problem.
Matchmaking. In hell.
Wasn't expecting to be doing this today, but it's fun, I guess.
this is going straight over my head. I was getting ready to cast Atonement. I have my chalk ready.
1 second. Michaela needs to talk, apparently.
His name is Balin. He's a duke in Felagos.
He's a duke of Feleggi. His name's Balin.
Muted.
Oh.
No.
Not you, Rihanna.
My cat.
Okay.
Oh, can you not hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Now.
Okay. Yeah, Mikhail just kind of looks to his sword and then looks back. Never mind. Fall asleep.
Okay, so now that that's over, and I'm very glad that it wasn't about you being lonely, where do we go from here? But I mean, you've clearly got an infernal thing going on. You have no tongue, which I imagine is very inconvenient for you in your particular relationship. Your friend is mildly bleeding out on the floor, and will, I assume, continue to do so.
Oh shit! Yes, spare the dying.
You don't have to do that here.
No, it's more uncomfortable, I think, than anything else. But
Also have it.
what do you? How can we make this work? Because I clearly have been sidetracked. I have an engagement in Avernus, and I need to be there somewhat on time. We've been sidetracked long enough, what with beating down your friend and attempting to discover whether or not Mikhail needs a partner. How can we make this go?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he won't be too happy that I gave it to a priest, but I am still immortal, so it makes sense that I would do. Listen, you're a holy man.
Horse, man,
Yes.
horse.
Faye, technically.
You haven't done the sin like everyone else. You're not evil, so to speak. All right, fine. You know what? And he's going to unhook the leather piece and he's going to hand it to you. Maybe if you collect it, the two of them, and he points to you and Rana, y'all figure it out. If we can find all of the pieces, you can travel out of the hells and go back to a church and have the thing destroyed for good and maybe not spread through the hells again.
That seems not unreasonable. Thank you for being reasonable about this. It was much more enjoyable than shooting a man to watch him not die, frankly.
Yeah, Bektar's going to be pissed, but we're going to different layers.
So should we pick you back up and get you on the boat, or?
Well, I can can walk, but he should be grabbed.
Okay. Dandy, do you mind if I just and Perrin makes a sort of drape the dead body over your back motion?
That would be fine. It would not be the first time.
Okay.
Now, how did you get them? You got them down. That's fair.
Yes.
How do you get them back up?
Presumably the same way, but with slightly more grunting.
Oh.
That, or once, if I have a long rest, then once every 6 seconds, I can create 10 gallons of water. We can flood the place. I can just float to the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with as distasteful as I think. Slightly more grunting and ropes and being involved. Frankly, it might be a little bit faster, even if it doesn't. Even if it's not uncomfortable, it's definitely going to take less than 8 hours.
Perry's gonna look at you. Oh, grunting and ropes. Seems that you're going to the same layer of hell as me.
And then again.
I mean, you can't understand the demonic tongue.
Oh, that's true. I can't. Never mind.
And Perret sort of just kind of wiggles an eyebrow at Bart and then says, maybe, and then keeps going. All right, come on, Dandy, let's get this done.
Okay, I'm going to secure the raper. Where would I put the rope? Where would I put it around, under my horse bit or around my chest bit? I guess under my horse
just
bit.
put it somewhere where we can carry you out without you upending halfway through and then being upside down half the way. I assume that's uncomfortable for everybody.
The chest bit, got it.
All right, so Rana, Mikhail, come! I can't lift the centaur by myself.
Yeah, no, all right.
Yes, I hear you.
Quite a taskmaster, that one.
I
Well,
know.
Remember, Bart, if it turns out that this whole fiend thing doesn't work out and you have regrets and you wish to be forgiven, just come and find me, and I will do my best to forgive you and put you back on the path of righteousness.
You sound like my mother. And when you climb to the top of the ladder, Michael, will you roll me a wisdom saving throw with advantage?
Sure. 1 second. 17.
17. So you know when you get up there that this is not real because you've seen it a time before. But as you climb to the top of the ladder, it seems like a very specific demon, devil, a creature you are looking for here, is staring directly at you. Can you describe what you see?
So, what is standing in front of Mikhail? Looming over his form is a Balrog. Mikhail just kind of eyes it. And once again, he knows it's not real, but it's still, the imagery is enough to kind of get under his skin and provoke unconscious fear. But he kind of swallows it back and then looks down to his blade again. I didn't need a reminder.
And you hear a sigh, and everyone else sees the little girl rubbing her face really angrily and looks up, and you see the little girl again. Sorry.
It's like a puffy cat. This puffy Halloween cat in the background, like, "Meh."
I didn't mean to. I just letting you know that I told the ferryman, and the ferryman said to be careful because there's stuff down there and there might be weapons. They're not sure. Just told me to come back and let you know. I'm glad you didn't die.
We're glad we haven't either. What is your name?
My name is Hannah.
Hannah. And Mikhail's kind of very awkward because he's still trying to get over the whole visage thing. How about you help us with a rope? We got to bring the horse back up.
Of course. I'll definitely help.
Thank you.
And I can try and climb the ladder. I don't think it's going to be athletics.
You can pull on the ladder while they hoist you up. Everyone can give me an athletics.
I never get tired of rolling this one.
I know, right?
I was definitely made to do this.
Negative ones all around.
Oh boy. Athletics, we said?
Hey, you rolled a
10.
So this one
We all
definitely
hit double digits. Like, that's not bad.
it's definitely a little bit harder, but you are able to hoist him up.
It's got to be the dead weight.
I am not dead weight.
Not what I was.
No, that
Never
would be
mind.
no. He's talking about the dead one.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot all about him.
You remember that pint comment I made earlier?
So, are we going to hell now, or?
I think the first step is back to the ferryman.
Oh, well, yeah.
What?
Fair.
If you don't mind me asking, who speaks with you?
Well, he calls himself my friend. And that's all I know.
This is not the proper place or time, but is there a way that I could meet your friend?
Probably. He'll be around.
I'll keep that in mind, Hannah.
Okay. Also, why does the mean guy get to ride on Dan?
His legs are temporarily disabled?
I am quite strong. You can ride too if you wish.
Yes. And she turns to look at Perry and says, "They're very nice." And then kind of gives you a look, kind of like, unlike you. And like hops onto Dan.
I don't think I can carry many more, but fine.
Luckily, the rest of us have fully functioning legs.
Yep.
So, back to the ferry, and we can get on with it, finally.
And you can make your way back to the ferry. Seems easy enough. Know your way. No one's watching at you through the woods. The ferryman is not actually on the ferry, and you actually pass him before the tree line. He's picking up a very small flower from the ground. He picks it. When he picks it, the rest of the plant dies, but the flower remains in perfect contact. He looks down at the dead plant, looks at the flower, kind of shrugs translucent shoulders, and places it into the fairy. Are we going?
We've caught our quarry.
Very good. Seems that you've worked everything out with Bekdar. He's going very deep into hell.
And I have this.
And what is that?
Nothing. I put it in my satchel.
Secrets. Well, I owe all of you. And he lurches the boat forward into the sea once again. You were able to continue down as if nothing had happened, back through the raging water. And as the water rages on, the air begins to feel warm. It's a dry heat, a desert heat. Beforehand, you could tell there was no temperature. You didn't realize it in the moment, but as you begin to feel the heat, the air almost matched your body temperature. The sky is no longer this gray, but is a bright orange. You can hear the sound of fire in the distance almost. Seems we're close to Avernus. Any of you getting off here?
What does your GPS say, Rana?
My GPS says I don't really have a direction after this. So, what is your you don't have GPS.
I don't have GPS, but can't you ping the thing again on the thing and find another piece? Are we supposed to get off here, or?
Well, I won't be your ferryman to the next location.
So I think we have to change boats.
Oh, okay.
Just small talk.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. Yes, no, I will probably have a look around before I get the next boat. I mean, if we can't go straight through, then... You've been a wonderful boat person. Thank you for waiting for us on the shore back there. It was very pleasant.
Thank you for collecting.
I really like your flowers.
Thank you. Not many seem to appreciate it. Call it patronizing. Patronizing.
Patronizing.
Patronizing.
My warning for you is there are a lot of fights that break out on Avernus. Lots of war. So don't piss anyone off.
And with that, Rana's gonna turn and pat Dan and cast Cure Wounds on them.
They need it.
Thank you.
They need it. Yeah, sure. It just, oh, right, about that. I casted at level 3 because why the heck not?
Oof.
There you go. You can do a, yeah, it's what? 3d8?
2d8.
Yeah.
It's at third level.
Oh, third level, 3d8. Yeah, cool.
Plus my wisdom, which is 4. 18.
Oh, that feels much better. Thank you. Is anyone else feeling bad?
You caught the worst of it.
Bart looks to you. I mean, I did fall into the sea.
Ah. But you were sanctuary. Did they not have to... Oh, they were wise dead people. Okay.
I maintained my memories.
I wonder, do you still have your tongue at all?
And he kind of like cocks a weird grin. and starts searching through things and pulls out a very dry, dusty satchel. And when he pulls it out, it's an even drier, dusty, blackened piece of meat. Looks kind of like jerky, almost.
I would like to use create water to hydrate the tongue.
And you do, and it becomes a strange, fleshy, pink mass.
And then I'd like to put it in your mouth.
He's gonna open his mouth, and in Infernal you hear, "This is really weird."
Oh, I came back at just the right time.
Yeah, you did.
And then when the tongue's in his mouth, I'll try lesser restoration, because, you know, it can't hurt. And if that doesn't work, I'll add in some mending.
Scrat, roll me a D100.
Sure thing. Iliu.
Oh, this is something. Iliu's. With 78, yes. With this weird magical nightmare. You hear gurgling and gagging, weird flopping noises from within his mouth, clicking and kind of twists it out, and you see him stick out his tongue. That's weird.
Is that a weird taste?
Yeah, it tastes about like 9 years in a leather bag. Oh, that was weird. Whew.
Well, at least you'll have something else additionally when you go on down to flagging. So,
And hopefully you can please your patron with it.
quite literally, I think.
Flashes.
And he smiles.
What?
Oh, Lord. All right. So what you've missed when you're gone, Perry, is the sky has changed to a fiery orangish red.
I actually had my
The
headphones
air-
the whole time, so you can keep going.
Oh, hell
Wireless
yeah.
headphones!
Oh,
Invest in them if you're in a session.
Boom.
Continue.
You begin to see large mountain ranges appearing in the distance, fires burning from the tips of them. The clashing of weapons can be heard from even this far away. As you approach Avernus. And as you approach Avernus, Harry, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Garbage!
Ooh.
It's been seen a time or two since this all began, but this is the first time you're saying it for yourself. And you don't know if this image is similar to what your new compatriots have seen. But as your eyes dart from Bart's strange, very interesting tongue journey, you look to where the little girl once was. And the little girl is no longer there. But a young woman that you do recognize is. Pale, almost featureless. A young changeling woman sits in a sundress. Her skin is pale, but you see the darkened under her eyes as time has begun to rot at the body. She is filled with arrows. Very strange arrows, spiraled crimson with a strange gold lettering. She opens her mouth as if to speak to you, but nothing but cold air comes out. She reaches out to touch your hand, and you feel icy cold. Brother.
And Foray sort of like has been very sort of jovial and fun almost the entire time, kind of heading down to awareness. But when this happens, like you can tell that the sort of the cheer that he puts on is fake. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to leave you alone a little bit longer, okay? So I got work to do. I'm sorry."
Always.
Yeah.
Always have work to do.
Yeah, that I do. And then sort of looks through her at like the space behind her. It just goes, if this is what I think it is, I'd appreciate it if you stopped.
And everyone sees Hannah kind of look to all of them. My friend is mad about this one, and I don't know why. And she puts her hands in and rubs her face really quickly. And slowly your sister's face, no longer mouth open in surprise, but almost heartbroken, fades into the distance. And as it does, the world seems to come back to you as you reach the docks of Avernus successfully.
Are you all right, Perry?
Yeah, nothing I haven't seen.
Fair enough. What can you tell us about this place?
There's like a moment where Perry sort of like just takes a second to like breathe, and then, well, you're in Avernus. Battlefields, demons, devils, everyone fighting over every inch of territory possible, and hell all the way through it. So I'd watch your step, and I hope you're good at ducking.
Keep that in mind.
Ferriman stops and looks to all of you. There is a boathouse deeper in Avernus, just up the docks there. If you can place him inside, the next ferryman can collect him there. If you are planning on waiting, don't expect tea. My compatriots are far less friendly.
Well, Don't, I think you have been absolutely a pleasure, and I really hope to meet you again before we leave this hellish place.
Yes, thank you very much. The tea was great.
You know where to find me. And when you all get off, his boat begins to sink.
Run away.
He disappears into the water below, leaving all of the flowers floating, dying, and turning to ash right into the sea, to the river Styx.
Oh, that was a shame.
It's a bit of a waste, yeah. So, dump the unconscious one in a boathouse and keep moving, I suppose?
Yes, let's go.
Sure.
And you're able to take him to the boathouse. It is different from the other. It seems much more upkept, made of a almost cob or clay material. The door is bright red. It looks almost like fresh blood. Also, chat wants to know if you took any red candles with you, Scrat.
Well, I mean, I would have had to wait while everyone else was climbing the ladder. So, how many candles were there?
There were about 10.
Oh, yeah, I would have scooped them up. Another 10 candles, like, candles, you'd be
Are
surprised
you gonna be
how
one of those
quickly...
candle collectors, collect a candle from every layer of hell?
So it fits right next to like the tiny spoons.
Do
Right,
they have
just-
different scents? Are they collectibles?
They might be, yes, now.
You're very welcome, Rebexes. Anything for you.
Oh, they've just subscribed. Thank you, Rebex.
What is it? The
Grab your
Mahari
candles.
66. Thank you for the gift sub. We appreciate it. There we go. Beautiful. Now I'm going to have to remember the candles.
Right?
As you get to the door, do you just open it up and toss them in, or do you knock?
Always knock before you open a door.
All right.
Otherwise, people may suspect you are... Oh, no, wait, this is the way that people suspect you might be a vampire. Still, I knock.
You knock, you wait a moment, and the door opens to what looks like the exact same creature who just delivered you.
Hello. We are dropping off this one.
Hmm.
Do you need to sign for it or anything like that?
Just kick
I'm not
him
really
in.
sure. Okie dokie.
Kick him in.
I'm
Fred just
gonna...
rolls him off of Dandelion. Just like,
Oh.
and it's kind of like,
Oh, can I buck him? Can I buck him off? Can I just like...
yes, do it.
Like Buckaroo, just whoop boom.
Can you give me any roll of a sort so I can see how just flourishy you will do this?
I feel like
How
it has
well
to be
your fucking
performance,
aim
right?
is.
Yeah, I'm thinking it has to be a performance of sorts.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah.
So you buck him off. And in your mind, it was funny. But the way you kick him through that room, he hits tables, he hits glassware, he hits everything. And he smacks against the wall, knocking everything in this boathouse all to shit. And the creature looks at you.
And I, just like any Amazon deliverer ever, I'm like, well, another happy customer, and just start walking away.
Slams the door shut. And as you walk around the side of the boathouse, you see a piece of parchment. And it says, Gladiators Wanted. 1 award, 1 piece of the Amulet of Plains.
Seems to hit that right on the head.
Oh. Is Hannah still with us?
Hannah is standing right next to you.
Oh, I love that.
Behind, like weirdly close, but kind of behind you, so you don't notice her until you turn to look, and she's like,
Seem a bit jumpy, Rana.
what's wrong? Why are you so nervous?
No reason at all whatsoever. I have no reason to be nervous. Gladiators though?
Well, it's not really gladiators. I suppose it's just a bunch of demons. Right, Perry?
I mean, they add additional contestants every now and then. Like, I assume Mr. McMurder over there is probably going to end up being one of them. But who knows?
Makes sense.
Wait, who is McMurder?
The one the one that sent our friend unceremoniously yeeted into the door.
I believe the past tense is yacht.
Oh yes, maybe yacht.
The hell?
Maybe one of you should do it.
Mm.
Well, I'm bad at fighting, so I automatically rule myself out.
Well,
Well, I did nose first, so it's not me.
I happen to know a lot about demons and things, and I have a mace. What do you think of my chances?
I think you can do anything. You're the only one who hasn't been scared of me yet.
Oh, Why would I be scared? Oh, just because of the haunting? No, that's not your fault.
Looks to everyone else in the party, this little girl with her big hat. Well, that's all well and fun. I'm gonna go find the person who tells me which boat to go to. Which hell.
Ruffle their hair. You have fun. Here, you can take this. It is 1 stick of incense. If they don't have aircon, you may very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Takes it, and as she turns around, you see the black form of energy kind of swirling around her. And she walks down another path to a little person at a desk, kind of handing out slips for the 9 different boat entrances.
Oh, I might actually have to ask them a question too.
Oh, here, Dan, while I'm thinking about this, and I guess now that she's gone, and Ron is going to take out the sack that had the second piece, and they're going to hand it to Dandy.
Oh, excellent. A second piece of the piece. Lovely.
I think you should hold on to that.
I will. Everyone in hell is so nice. They really should work on their advertising.
Really should work on their advertising.
Rebranding would probably help.
I think that has a slightly more literal meaning down here than you might think.
I hate it.
I hate you all. Perry, did you say you have to ask someone a question today?
Yes, I think I'm going to head. Well, I'm going to talk to the person at the logisticy-looking desk. Yeah.
It's a small dwarf woman with red hair and a red beard with tassels into it.
Oh. It's a very nice beard.
Aye. And what,
I'm sorry, you first, please. Please continue.
oh, no, what do you want?
Oh, is anybody else in earshot? Or is it far enough away that, like, they'd have to try to hear me?
You and I, mate.
Okay. I have a person I'm supposed to meet here about a sale. I figured I might ask you if you might know the appropriate department I should go to for that.
Is that in Avernus?
Yes, it is. Specifically for Avernus, actually.
For Avernus. And let me look through my files.
Sure, of course. Take your time.
And she kind of looks at you interestingly, like kind of tilts her head a few times and goes back into the papers and she's sifting through them. Name. Your name.
Hooray. Well, might have been written down as Perry.
Yes. Perry. I see.
There it is.
Yes, it seems that you wanted at the Bronze Citadel.
Ah, excellent. And which direction is that particular bastion of suffering, might I ask?
Yes, bastion of suffering. That hasn't been pointed. That way, about a day and a half's journey.
Excellent.
I recommend you hire a mercenary before you go.
Fair enough. How about... I will find out if I need one, depending on which direction my 3 strictly more combat-oriented companions are going.
Fair enough.
But I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
Yes.
That's right. That was it. That's all I had. But have a good day, I guess. What do you say in hell? How do you... So,
nothing. We don't... Pleasantries aren't a thing.
Okay, well, that's a shame. In that case, pleasantries to you. And then I walk away. So, where are you all headed?
Well, I think I'm going to rest at that inn over there and regain all of my spell slots, for I have used them all. And
That seems reasonable. I suppose.
And then I think I will be checking into this championship to earn myself another piece of this.
Are you posing for anyone in particular, or just because it's fun?
Mostly because it's fun.
Fair enough. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go over to the gladiator thing and find out where exactly this is being held and or where to apply, etc., 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 etc. Because I have a feeling that the rest of our party has been like gladiators, yeah, and just doesn't know where to go. So I'm assuming that's the case.
That's a good question.
Posing by the sign, of course.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Two of you are here for a very specific reason.
And it's not gladiators. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, Rana, you're not staying?
I
Okay.
have to find him.
Afraid my answer's not much different than hers. I have someone to track down, and I have a feeling they're not going to be in a city like this.
You might find more information there, to be sure, than wandering around a desolate barren wasteland that's used constantly warring backdrop for a war that has continued for literally forever.
Right.
Just a thought.
I do plan on sticking around and asking questions, but I don't know if I'm going to find much in the fighting pit.
No, I have to. I mean, I will also have to find information, but I don't think that it's going to be there.
Well, that is okay. Thank you for joining me in coming to this place. Avernus, is it? Yes. It will be a shame. It's nice to have. Is that Lavanda? The.
Oh, this?
Yes.
It's the sun.
Not a
They
symbol.
have different names, but a little sun.
Oh, I just assumed you were a priest.
No, I just try to do good where I can. Hey, Dan, can you do me a favor since you're gonna be collecting those pieces?
Yes.
If you find a man named Ark, I'm gonna be looking for him, but if you find him before I do and you can get him out, could you do that for me?
Is he a sinner?
He's always trying his best.
As long as he is willing to repent and change his alignment, I will get him out.
Thank you. That's all I could ask.
And with that, Rana goes on a very interesting mission. They are on the hunt for Ark. Their home and their love, somewhere deep within themselves. Mikhail begins to search for the lost answers he needs, the person he has to find for a debt he has to repay. Harry, you know exactly where you're going. You have a very, very important business meeting. You are a very intelligent man in the world of hell. You know exactly who to work for and what to do. And Dan, your journey's just beginning.
At least now I have a quest.
And that is where we end episode 1 of Through Hells and Back, The River Styx.
Yay! So much fun! Well, everyone, let's go round and talk about who we are, what our favorite part of today's show was, and all of the wonderful things that we would like to do, that we do, that we get up to online, where we can find us, all that sort of stuff. Why don't we go anti-clockwise around the screen and start with Rio Massa again? Hey, Rio.
Hey. So I am Ryamasa, that's RY0MASA on Twitter, because somebody has my name. But I played Hooray Denmark, who is a tiefling lawyer with some little bit of side hustle on the side, shall we say. I guess it's more side hustle with a side of lawyer. And I think my favorite part of the session today was I think it was like the little girl and like everyone sort of like seeing everyone's like stories, because I love guest star shows. I love when you can do that, but it's always so much fun to see like little peeks and hints at characters' backstories that may not come back on the show, depending on scheduling. And so seeing the little hints of that to me was so much fun to do for Mikhail and Rana. And although Dan didn't actually get to do anything, but like that was fun.
I have an entire season to fuck with Scrat.
Exactly. Like I'm excited to see what happens next, but it was really nice to see Rana and Mikhail like little glimpses into characters that I don't personally know that well, and see things. Like what the shtick is always fun to me. So I appreciate bringing that to the forefront, and for my fellow players from piloting their characters so very well.
Wonderful. Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
Hey.
Well, next, let's go around to Overlord Anon before we all die.
All right. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. Hi, Overlord Anon. Also Bradley, doesn't matter. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, mostly did have a group together called the Delinquents. We are currently on a hiatus, so as we kind of restructure and rebuild things, mostly I'm just going to be hanging around. You may catch me throwing out the occasional tweet or whatever. But as far as like what, or as today goes, I kind of have to echo Perry on this one, where there was just a lot of interesting, like, I know it's kind of odd to say like everybody was two sides of a coin when there's four people, but you have Dan, who's like this sort of comic relief, semi-serious character who's doing serious things but doesn't know he's doing serious things. You have Rana, who apparently all chat thinks they need to protect.
Everyone in chat wants to protect Rana at all costs. Die for
Exactly.
There's a lot of protect Rana happening.
Exactly.
all chat.
And then you get Perry, who's like likable and like you want to slap him at the same time, but you're like, I need to like him though. It was just great fun. Like I enjoyed hanging out with everybody and seeing everybody portray their personas.
So very cute. I love you all.
Thank you. Next around, we have Vicky at Pink Eldritch. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. You can find me again at Pink Eldritch on Twitter, or you can also find me on the D&D 5e Actual Play podcast, Sacrosanct. And my favorite part today was I just loved our ferryman. He was so unexpectedly wonderful. And I really appreciate that unexpected twist of they like flowers, they like tea, they like polite people. And that was just...
Yeah, one might say he's a hell of a gentleman.
I've opened myself up for a season of puns.
Well, tall, dark, and handsome. He did have devilish good looks.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's not gonna stop.
Oh Lord, it is just beginning.
Bree. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm NPC Bree, Witch Queen of the Greyhawk channel. You can find me there, running the fall season as the owner of the Greyhawk channel. You'll find me here every week, and every other Monday you'll find me on Soulbear RPG playing Comedy of Strahd. Hopefully within the next few months you'll be hearing information about Edenfall, the Cypher System audio drama that was birthed to life from the Scratticus Academy game, Eden. It is hard to say what my favorite part is. There's something so special about viewer games, and it is the fact that every week you get to sit with some amazing role players and see how they play and see how they role play characters. And it's something that is probably going to be my favorite thing every single week. And it is just getting to sit with a new set of really amazing people who I am blessed to be able to play with every single week.
Was that a pun? Did you intend that one?
Oh, Scrat.
Before we come to me, Rio, you wanted to plug another thing, right?
Yes, I did. I actually almost forgot because we've been on hiatus for so long. But I play I play a character named Sitafan Thornrael of Fintazi, now that the story has taken a bit of a turn, on a show called God of Ravnica over at Geo for Us All's channel. It is a Magic the Gathering World Ravnica, all Ravnica party-ish game. It is definitely something I would watch with an 18+ tag on the front. But for those of you who are interested in that, and we do a pretty good job of being like, here's the content, here it is. If you take a look at the list of those things and you're okay with watching, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lot of fun, and everybody on that cast is stellar. Our next game, since we've been on hiatus, is I believe August 31st at 5 p.m. EST on Saturday, I think. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That would be a Saturday. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. For me, before we get into mine, chat, we've had a lot of puns. I need a raid cry. We're raiding Madame Gandalf, so you can be a little bit loose-lipped with your tongues. You can say something risky. She won't mind. For me, favorite moments, possibly when Rio DM'd me to say, did we both make Sly fucking like rogues? Like
My sneak rogues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we both make rogues who are pretending to be other things? Great.
It was a power move. It's a power move.
I can't help but put rogue in everything, apparently. I just feel like normal proficiency isn't enough.
You've done it for every game I've done.
Just like, there's nothing quite like being like, what's your bonus? 10.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, definitely. And you know, if we get 2 levels during this campaign, I'm going to get another +4 to my wisdom as well. Apart from that, favorite part, I really enjoyed how long it... when Bree handed us the why don't you just lower him down?
Because I had the ladder idea before Scrat told me he was playing a horseman, so I was like, there's got to be a way down. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting there trying to navigate the
And I was
ladder.
sitting there waiting for it.
Honestly, I
Come
wanted there to, I was like, we could lower you, but like, if we're being honest, Prairie's like, no, I want to see this. This is going to be exciting. This will be amusing.
This will amuse me.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's it for the show, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will be back in nearly exactly an hour for our Dragon Age campaign, Rise of the Wardens, set in the First Blight. We're going to be going on a raid. We're going to be raiding Madame Gandalf, who is going to be in that game. Yeah, if you don't know her already, buckle in. She's amazing. That's all of the things. Until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions, and we will see you next time. Bye.